Excellent. Larry, first name, last name, title, and organization.
My name's Larry McDonald, and I'm the chairman of the board of Vermillion Energy.
Excellent. Tell me about the first time you met Tommy Frist, Larry.
I think it was in Nashville that I met Tommy Frist, and we had a major donor initiative meeting. And a great meeting for, I think it was 2 days, and then I remember this specifically because I had to have a board meeting, a telephone board meeting, and then fly to Paris. And so Tommy said, well, why don't you go out and use one of my offices in the hangar? And I said, well, that'd be great, and then I could just grab a cab around to the airport. So I used the office in the hangar, we did the board meeting, but Tommy showed up after the board meeting and drove me around to the airport. So I was really impressed by that little show of gratitude, it was perfect.
Excellent, excellent. What kind of impact has Tommy Frist had on you personally and philanthropically over the years since you've known him? Has he changed your view in giving and reaching out to others?
I chaired the campaign in Calgary in 1993. And my wife and I talked about what kind of gift we would give to the United Way that year. And we'd been giving $1,000 a year up to that time. And we decided we were going to give $25,000. And one of the former chairmen came to me when he found out, and he said, you can't do that. I said, what do you mean you can't do that? He said, you're setting the bar way too high. Chairmen that follow you aren't going to be able to do that. And I said, well, it's kind of a personal thing. We'd like to do it. And there's this Tocqueville thing down in the U.S. where people are giving big dollars. So United Way in the U.S. is receiving big dollars. So we gave her $25,000, and we've never given less in that sense. So it was, and a lot of people have followed us. So that was Tommy Frist. I didn't know who Tommy Frist was at that time, but that was Tommy Frist.
That's great. Good story.
Are you stopping now? Just a little bit. Did you stop or are you going? No, I'm still going.
Awesome. Larry, tell us about the Major Gifts Expansion Initiative that Tommy Frist was first involved in as the chairman. Tell me some background.
Yeah, Tommy actually started that. He thought, the major gift expansion or major gifts in the U.S., the Tocqueville Society, had been very successful, and thought it would take it global and see how it worked. So we decided to do that. We did 8 pilots, and some of them worked really well. Some of them struggled a little bit. There was cultural issues that we didn't know about, but we learned a lot. And actually now we have 12 major gift programs that are firmly entrenched. The one in Korea is extremely successful. So it's a real success story.
Why do you think it worked? I mean, you said there were some cultural differences. Why do you think this Major Gifts Initiative, you just told me off camera about the France giving, that's a U.S. thing.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I think we actually needed leadership, and Tommy provided that leadership. He was a man of stature, and he provided the leadership by leading the Tocqueville Society in the U.S. And when someone like Tommy provides that leadership, we all look and listen. It was terrific what he did, and when we used that example overseas, people said, well, we never thought of that. This is, we just never thought of doing that. Just like Gloria and I in Calgary when we gave $25,000, we just never thought of giving that amount. And so it was the leadership that Tommy provided.
That's great, that's great. What have been the global results of this Major Gifts Expansion Initiative to date? Tell me what countries have taken this and really have run with it. You mentioned 12, you don't have to mention all 12, but give me a flavor.
I'm gonna have a little peek.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah, we can stop. I gotcha. Larry, share with us what have been the global results to date of this Major Gifts Expansion Initiative.
Well, it's been extremely successful in Latin America, really successful in Latin America. Europe, Eastern Europe, and Western Europe. Just recently in France, in Paris, we started a program there. Singapore, so it's global, and probably very successful. A little slower than we'd anticipated, but then North Americans are kind of a little bit impatient. So we've had the cultural differences, And we've solved most of those, and we're just moving forward.
That's great. Larry, that was excellent. I need you to paraphrase my question, though. The Major Gifts Expansion
Oh,
Initiative
okay.
is
Yeah.
global now. We're in 12 countries,
Yeah, okay.
that kind of thing. Okay. So tell me about the results, the global results of the Major Gifts Expansion Initiative to date.
The Major Gift Expansion Initiative is now in 12 countries. We started out in 8, and we're in 12 countries. Those countries are in Latin America, they're in Eastern Europe, France. In fact, we just started one in France last summer, and in the Far East. So it's global, and it's really successful.
That's great. We talk about the ripple effect. We talk about the legacy of Tommy Frist. Explain his effect, the ripple effect here domestically, but also internationally.
Well, I think Tommy Frist's name is well known in North America, and there has been a tremendous ripple effect by his leadership in especially the U.S. And like I say, when we were doing the program in Calgary, leading the United Way in 1993, we knew there was a Tocqueville program, but we'd never heard of Tommy Frist's name. So there's a ripple effect right there. It's just wonderful. And now I know that Tommy has been on TV in Korea. Koreans have a very successful program. So it's a tremendous ripple effect. And we probably don't even know all the places where he's had an impact. So it's kind of neat because you can have this impact and not even really know about it, you know. So it's just you go along one day and you say, hey, these people are doing a United Way Major Gift Program, and you say, that's kind of neat because that's Tommy Frist. So he should be really proud of himself.
Excellent. Do you think the Major Gifts Expansion Initiative would have been successful without a Tommy Frist at the leadership?
No. I think you need someone like Tommy Frist to be the chairman, to be the point guy out there doing it, and not only doing it, but giving of himself, giving in a significant manner, and giving of his time too. So you just need to have that example. So you need a Tommy Frist. We'd love to have a dozen Tommy Frists. You know, it'd be great.
What do you think his legacy will be, or is, in your mind, personally?
Well, I think United Way in North America and globally wouldn't be near where it is without Tommy Frist, because he's changed the giving from a corporate gift to a individual gift. And so now, like in Canada, almost half of the funds come from individual gifts. And 20 years ago, that number would have been 5-7%. So it's been a massive shift for United Way. Very important.
Larry, what would you tell other leaders like yourself that would be sitting in this audience in May 2nd watching this video? Maybe they're on the fence. These are international leaders, okay? Heads of corporations, wealthy individuals. Why is it important to give? Why is it important to give back? Why is it important to get involved with the United Way, with the Tommy Frist, you know?
Well, actually, number one is fun. It really is fun. It's fun to give. You know, all of us have been successful in our own way, and it's fun to give back. When you give back, that indicates you are successful, and you've done well, and you want to share. It's almost paramount. It's very important for us to give back. That's like kind of the genesis of our society. You know, if you don't give back, we really don't have a society. One of the cultural differences we found when we went overseas was that many families in, say, India will consist of 1,000 people, 1,000 fairly close relatives. In North America, our families are 20 or 30 or 40 maybe, because we all immigrated, or our parents or our grandparents immigrated, and we lost that tie. So in India, the family looks after everything. But in North America, the families aren't big enough to look after the unfortunate members of the family. So it's very important that society take on that role.
Is there still giving going on in India due to that dynamic?
Oh, for sure. We thought there wasn't giving in India, but we found out that there is a lot of giving, and it's usually associated with the family. within the family, they take care of their own. So, but the families are very large.
Great, great. Why do you think Tommy Frist has reached so many donors throughout the world?
I think Tommy Frist has reached all those donors, number one, because he's provided the leadership, he's done it by example, and he's a hell of a nice guy.
Do you feel individuals have the power to change the world?
Oh, I really do feel individuals have the power to change the world. I mean, without a question. You know, we rely on governments to do this and do that, but really, governments are so hamstrung by wanting to get reelected that they can't do the right thing. Individuals can do the right thing. They can do what they want to do. They can have an impact like Tommy Frist did. They can have a big impact just by doing what he thought was right. So it's easier for individuals to do it.
Have you seen results get expanded when others are engaged and working towards a common goal? Does it take the village?
Yeah, it takes the village to raise the child. I've certainly seen results get expanded when everyone's involved. And just take, for example, in Calgary, when we chaired the campaign in 1993, no one was giving more than $1,000 a year. That was a big gift. It was a leadership gift, we called it. And now we have over 7,500 leadership gifts and major donor gifts, giving almost half the campaign. So it's been incredible for a United Way like Calgary, a fairly small city, but it's really been incredible.
Why do you feel, Larry, that Tommy Frist should be recognized with the United Way's Lifetime Achievement Award?
Because when I think of United Way, I think of Tommy Frist. You know, I really do. You know, I don't think of Brian Gallagher or the staff. I think of Tommy Frist because it's volunteers. I kind of relate to volunteers. I'm a volunteer. And Tommy Frist is the premier volunteer in United Way.
Adjectives to describe Tommy Frist. What would be some adjectives come to mind?
He's goal-oriented. He's been successful in his personal life, so he's driven. You know, I know that by being around him that he's a family man. And well, like I said earlier, he's a nice guy. He's nice to be around. It's fun to be around Tommy.
Great. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
You want to cut?
Let's cut, yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. Larry, tell us about United Way Calgary and all, to date, the leadership gifts. Where were they in 1993? Where are they today? How many leadership gifts are there, and what dollar amount? And is this due to the ripple effect of Tommy Frist?
There certainly is a ripple effect from Tommy Frist, and I can see it in Calgary. In 1993, when I led the campaign, there were no gifts over $1,000. In fact, that was kind of the standard. My friends and I, we all gave $1,000. And that year, we decided, because we were leading the campaign, we'd give $25,000. And the reason that we picked $25,000 was we knew about this Tocqueville Society down in the U.S. and didn't know anything about Tommy Frist, but we knew about the Tocqueville Society, and that was setting the bar. It was setting the bar higher. So Canada is always a little competitive with the U.S., so we gave $25,000, and now we have over 7,500 donors in Calgary, and they give over half the campaign of $51 million. So, you know, that's a tremendous ripple effect. It really is.
That was excellent. Thank you. That was excellent. Do you want to talk about Montreal or no?
No, yeah.
You don't? Okay.
Political sensitivity, yeah.
With
So.
you. Got it. No problem. Do you want to, let's talk about the 12 United Way partners outside North America. And just mention the continents for me. Latin America, Europe, Asia, Africa. Well, obviously Caribbean's not a continent. But
Yeah.
if you could say Latin America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean.
Okay.
And then I can punch in the separate locations.
Okay, yeah,
within it.
yeah.
Does that sound fair? Okay. We have 12 United Way partners. Tell us about the 12 countries outside the U.S. or North America that have these programs going, these Tocqueville-like programs going.
Yes, we have now Tocqueville-like programs going in 12 countries outside of the USA and outside of Canada. Those countries are in Latin America, in South America, in Europe, in the Far East, and it's the programs are all different. They all have different objectives, different levels for giving, but they're all basically the same. And that's kind of the ripple effect, and that'll grow every year. As people see a Tocqueville-like program, they say, "Hey, I want to be in on that." So it's great for United Ways.
All right. I messed you up with the question. I'm sorry. I laid you down. I don't think we should say Tocqueville-like. I should say leadership.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's my fault.
Okay.
It's totally my fault. As I'm hearing you say that, I'm like, Joyce is going to hate that. Okay. Let's talk about a leadership or major gifts program in the 12 countries. Okay. So you have Tommy Frist's ripple effect has spread out to 12 countries. And they include, in these 12 countries, the Latin American, Europe, Asia, the Caribbean, and Africa.
Okay. The Major Gift Expansion Program are now in 12 countries outside of North America, in Latin America, South America, Europe, Asia, and the Caribbean. All a little different, all with different giving levels, all quite successful. And when people see them actually working, they say, "Hey, we want one of those." So it takes a couple more years. So they study it a little bit, and then they bring that information home to their country, and they find some volunteers to lead it, and they go ahead, and it's working very well for most countries.
Excellent. Let's do that one more time. You forgot Europe. Let's do Latin America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean.
There's 12 expansion projects right now outside of North America, and we have them in the Caribbean, in Latin America, in Asia, in Europe, and in the Far East. So they're all a little different. They have different giving levels, different use of the funds, but they're all quite successful. And when people see them, they want to copy them.
Great. That was excellent. I'm just going to do a safety on that. That'd be great. Latin America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean. Tell me about the 12 United Way partners, worldwide partners, and their leadership giving programs.
There's 12 countries involved in the leadership giving program outside of North America, and they're in the Caribbean, in Latin America, in Africa, in Asia, and in Europe. And actually, Gloria and I have visited most of those countries and spoken to the people, and really quite enjoyed it. It's a wonderful traveling experience, and you learn a lot about the country. It's a great way to learn through United Way, because you see the real country. You see the real people in the real country. It's not a tourist thing. It's fun.
Is it fair to say, Larry, or is this too big of a statement to say that Tommy Frist probably influenced a lot of these 12 countries, influenced these groups that have taken off globally? Is that fair to say that he dropped the pebble in the water?
Without a doubt, I think Tommy Frist did drop the pebble in the water, and the ripple effect has gone to those 12 countries, but it's gone further than that, because there's another dozen countries looking at the program and saying, "Hey, if we had the resources, we'd implement this program tomorrow." So over the next 5 years, I think we'll see the major giving program expand, double, triple. So we've got a good start, and we've got a long ways to go, but it's really working.
Excellent. All right, I think let's cut. So of the 12 countries in the leadership giving programs, there are a few that are standing out and are pretty strong. The community chest in Korea, a $100,000 giving level, and since 2008, they have secured 100 donors. Tell me about that.
Yeah, one of the most successful major gift programs is in Korea, and since 2008, they've secured 100 donors, and they give all over $100,000. So that's one of the most successful by dollar amount. So it's really successful. And the newest one in France, in Paris, United Way of Paris, they have 10 donors who give 10,000 euros each. And in fact, Gloria and I are one of those donors, so we kind of hold that one fairly close to our hearts.
Excellent. stuff. How about the Canada major gifts? Do you want to talk about Canada collectively, Larry? That one little email she just sent us right before we did this today. 2,688.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, you want to do that one?
2,700 donors.
Yeah, close to 2,700, 10K of giving more than 64 million, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Okay, that's great. So, Larry, tell me about Canada and their Major Gifts Initiative and the results there.
In Canada, the Major Gift Initiative wasn't as organized as it was in the States. Tommy provided the leadership, and so all the United Ways kind of got on board. So it's been kind of helter-skelter in Canada. But because of the kind of the competition from the U.S., we now have 2,700 donors giving over $10,000 a year, and it's bringing in $65 million. And $65 million is pretty significant when you consider the $400 million that Canada raises every year.
Wow, that was great. That was great. Let's do that one more time. That was really good. I don't know if you can get that better, but that was really good. I like that. Tell me about what's going on in Canada and the Major Gifts Initiative.
The Major Gift Initiative in Canada is quite a bit different than the U.S. The U.S. was more organized. You had the leadership of Tommy. We didn't have that type of leadership in Canada, so we all had our own programs, and we learned from each other, and then, there is a lot of north-south dialogue, so our staff come down to United Ways all over the U.S. and learn, and we sop it up. We like good ideas, and this has been a great idea that came out of the U.S. And so now in Canada, we have over 2,700 donors giving over $10,000 a year to United Way, and that amounts to $65 million. So it's big dollars in the United Way's total budget for the campaign.
That's great. Again, what's your message to the leaders, to the groups, to the conference leaders at this conference on May 2nd? What would you say to them? What are your words of wisdom? Back in 1993, you were writing a check for $1,000, and here you are, 2012, and totally vested in various countries, deep in United Way. Where's that young Larry McDonald sitting in that crowd wanting to maybe get off the fence and do something?
Yeah, I think if you're, I can use my son as an example. He's me, 30 years ago, and he comes to me and he says, the United Way campaign's going on, and you think I should give? And I said, well, it's really up to you. But yeah, I think you should get involved. I think it's a great organization, and he actually has been the campaign person for the floor, and I think it's my advice to anybody who's looking at United Way is get involved, get in there, meet lots of people, have some fun. It's a great organization, and make the world a better place to live. Make your community a better place to live.
How large is Tommy Friss's ripple effect or impact on the world? How big is it? Is it hard to measure?
I think it's hard to measure because, like I said, in 1993, we gave $25,000 because of what was going on in the States, or partly because of what was going on in the States. That was Tommy Friss. So you don't know, that it's Tommy Friss, but there is a tremendous ripple effect. It's been massive for United Way. It's been great for other charities because it's raised the bar on giving. When we used to give $1,000 a year, now we're giving $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. It's raised the bar for everybody. It's been good, really good.
Excellent. And let's cut. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Larry, of the 12 United Way partners outside of North America, can you highlight Colombia and Hungary and tell me about some of the programs that are going on there?
United Way of Hungary is actually quite a success story. It's been running for about 3 years now, and it's got 50 donors giving over €1,000 annually. So good start. Dividendo por Colombia, on the other hand, has 380 donors, and they give. Dividendo por Colombia is a very successful United Way, and they have 380 donors giving about 10% of their campaign. So that one kind of started It's a real grassroots organization, and the money is used for education for kids in rural areas. So that's a great use of proceeds.
When you visited, you said you and your wife visited a lot of these partners, a lot of these agencies globally. Do they know who Tommy Frist is, and is it important?
Actually, that's an interesting question because we were in India, and everybody knows who Tommy Frist is. I mean, because he's a physician. He's in hospitals, and of course, a lot of the Indians, their kids are doctors or physicians in North America, so they all knew Tommy Frist. So his name was very common in India, but in other countries, I would say no. I don't think so. They know about giving, but they don't know about Tommy Frist.
Got it. How important has his ripple effect been, Larry? I know I repeat the question, but you might say something different. How important has the ripple effect from Tommy Frist been to United Way, to us as a world, you know, to make this place a better place to live, as you said?
I think Tommy Frist, by taking the initiative, by giving of himself, created a fantastic level of giving for the world, really. Definitely for North America, for Canada and the US, he's raised the bar very high. And now we're just in the last 5 years, we're taking it global, and we're raising the bar there as well. And lots of people say, well, I never thought of that. I never thought about giving. I never thought about giving at that level, and why would I do it? So it's, Tommy Frist has got people scratching their heads and thinking twice about giving and coming forward and giving. So it's the ripple effect is just phenomenal.
That was great. That was great. Larry, is there anything else you want to add, you know, on a personal note about Tommy and what he's done? I just want to straighten your tie up. Did we not cover anything on this?
I think we got it all. Yeah,
We got
yeah,
it all?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good. Then let's just check.
You wanna stop it?
Yeah.